first aircraft is an F-18 at the 90. Stand clear to port catwalk and foul line. Stand by to recover aircraft. This is a drill. Go through the ages, and bravely give it life. Always break its word. We'll still follow this song for freedom. The battle rages on.
Good evening, everybody. This is Caesar with the Battle Rhythm Podcast. I am transmitting live tonight from my home office, i.e. my studio, my haven. My bike is on the way. There we go. The Battle Rhythm Podcast coming to you live, as you can tell. Yes, tonight we have a very, very special show. We have a very, very special guest, and we're about to throw down back to the 90s, my friends, because tell you what, when this band was coming up, I remember I was a sophomore in high school when their multi-platinum songs and album came out. So yes, I'm telling you, you guys are going to be loving it, especially if you're a 90s lover. This is going to be awesome. And he is literally backstage. So I am not even going to wait anymore on this. I am going to bring in the interview of the week.
The Battle Rhythm Podcast interview of the week is brought to you by Texoma Harley Davidson. Stop by to see Kenny and his team for all of your Harley Davidson needs.
The interview of the week brought to you by Texoma Harley Davidson. And without further ado, the one, the only Chad Gracey, founding drummer of Live. Sir, how are you?
I am doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, I'm so excited of the fact that I get to be among rock and roll alternative royalty, such as yourself. So, from one drummer to another, you're you know what I'm saying? It just goes that way. So it's pretty cool. It's the I don't even know what to say, man. I'm so speechless right now. It's cool.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
So we're gonna dive right in. So people are already in the wings, and hopefully we're gonna be talking to them, and they're gonna be talking to us through our social media. So once again, all the handles are down there. You can definitely go through it or through any of those handles, and you can just shout out your questions. Also on TikTok, we are live on TikTok, so we will be monitoring those as well. So we have the entire Think Loud Studios team is pretty much out there right now. They are sharing the crap out of this live right now, sir.
What's up, everybody? On the
I know, right? All right, so we're gonna start off the show with this. And Chad, I like to do a little, I don't know, a trivia, but I like a little what do you call it? Informational channel, because this is really an informational podcast. This is how it started, right? This is how I made my money back in the day. Right? Before I started being really big, because I got a big head right now. So we're gonna start. But all right, so today is August 25th. Sorry, 26th. Oh my god, dude, the month is almost over.
Yes, it is.
August 26th. Okay, so today, did you know that today is National Got Check Day? Meaning that there's a theme about this. So National Got Check Day is in part with the American Cancer Society, especially for women, right? So it's obviously getting them themselves checked in for not ovarian, but breast cancer. So that's what it is. So there's a theme. Remember that. All right. Also today is National Web Mistress Day. No. This is not anything about those, the corn sites or anything like that. This is actually about women who are actually developing software, developing coding, and all that stuff. That's what it really is. So nobody be out there going crazy with the web mistress thing. All right. So it's nothing to do with that. All right. National. I know, right? They could have named it something else, like National Women's Software Day or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is what it is. Anyway, all right. So National Cherry Popsicle Day is today as well. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, there's all kinds of national days. You don't. These are three that I've never heard of. So here we go.
So, and then remember I told you there was a theme. So today is National Women's Equality Day.
No, okay.
So why? Because obviously today is also marks the date that the 19th Amendment for the U.S. Constitution was actually passed as well, right? Women's suffrage. So August 26th of 1919, I believe.
Perfect.
Well, I don't know my date. I know there was the 19th Amendment, so I just kind of figured it was the 19th something.
Somewhere in there.
All right, are you a dog person or a cat person?
I have no pets right now, but I'm more of a dog person, but I don't mind cats.
All right, good, because today is National Dog Day. So, again,
Is there a national day, multiple national days on every day of the year now? I think there is.
Every day has a national I got something day.
Yeah.
So, yes. All right.
National Donut Day. I like that day.
Yeah. That was the cop's favorite, by the way. So, sure. All right. So we're going to check out some notable birthdays for August 26th. Let me know if you know of any of these people, and we'll go from there. So, all right. So Lee DeForest was born in 1873 and passed away in 1961. He was the inventor of the audion tube, enabling the development of the electronic oscillator, which led to the radio broadcasting and long-distance cell phone lines possible. So it is through him, or because of him, that you and I are able to actually be on this podcast right now.
There you go. Perfect.
So thank you, Mr. DeForest. Not the Forrest Gump, but Mr. Lee DeForest. So, all right. Zona Gale, 1874 1938. She was a novelist who became the first woman to win the Pulitzer Prize for Drama. Margaret Utinsky, 1900 to 1970. So she was a nurse and recipient of the Medal of Freedom in 1946 for her work to provide medicine, food, and other items to aid Allied POWs in the Philippines during World War II. So I love those, those veteran, war stories. Those are always awesome. So some of my favorites. So, all right, Katherine Johnson, 1918 to 2020. She was a physicist and mathematician of orbital mechanics of NASA, who helped with the first and more after space flight. So Katherine Johnson, she was actually highlighted in that movie Numbers.
Can I ask if that's who we were talking about from that movie?
Yeah, Catherine. Well, she was Catherine Goebel really for most of the movie, but then she got married and it was Johnson. So yeah,
very cool.
Yeah. It's the fact that I actually know something here. I know, it's crazy. Brent Parker, 1920 and 2007. He was a co-creator of the Wizard of Id comic strip. You remember that one? I remember that one. That one's actually pretty good. When the newspapers were around, the comic. Yeah, there was.
I don't remember that comic strip, but I remember comics and papers for sure.
It was right next to Gilbert.
Okay.
Or Calvin and Hobbes. Yeah. Calvin and Hobbes is actually one of my favorites. Okay. Jay Pritzker, co-founder of Hyatt Hotels, was born in 1922 and passed away in 1999. Naomi Parker Fraley, 1921 to 2018. She was a World War II assembly line worker who is said to have inspired the Rosie the Riveter poster. Did not, yeah. Everyone knows Rosie the River. Mm-hmm. And actually, there was a lot of women that actually still, I think I'm few and far between now, but there's a lot of them that actually still, they were very, very happy to be doing the jobs of the men when they were out in fighting war. So it was crazy. Man, my voice is going out today. Robert Vickery, 1926 to 2011. He was a painter who specialized in the ancient medium of egg tempera, using the use of pigments, water, and egg to create paintings.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, medium of egg tempera. I thought it was food at first, but then I read it was paintings. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I only know tempura as Japanese fried stuff. Yes, got it.
All right, Valerie Simpson. She's 1946 and she's still with us. She is a singer-songwriter of half of the musical duo Ashford and Simpson. Did not know that. This is a little bit more of our time, I believe. Melissa McCarthy, 1970, and she's still with us. She's a contemporary actress and comedian for Mike and Molly, Bridesmaids, Tammy, Identity Thief, and she's also the cousin of the 1996 Playmate of the Year, Jenny McCarthy.
Yes. Yeah, she's hilarious in Bridesmaids.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. An identity thief as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this one you'd probably know. I don't know if you probably met this guy, Macaulay Culkin, 1980 and still with us.
Not met him, but I know who he is for sure.
You're right. Child actor, best known for his role as Kevin McAllister in Home Alone 2, and My Girl 2. That one is actually a pretty good movie. Or My Girl, I really like.
Yeah, My Girl's great. Yep.
Really good. What was it? A really good message, actually. About loss. But all right, 1843, Charles Thurber patents his version of a typewriter, I should say. 1873, Susan Blow starts the first free kindergarten in the United States. In 1907, Harry Houdini escapes from chains underwater in 57 seconds, which is crazy. 1920, the 19th Amendment is certified, giving women the right to vote. Again, women's suffrage throughout the 1920s. So I was wrong by 1 year. I said 1919 is actually 1920. So I know I should not be in jeopardy. All right. In 1939, the very first Major League Baseball game, the Cincinnati Reds versus the Brooklyn Dodgers, is the broadcast on TV station W2XBS. That is the very first televised game. 1973, a 10-year-old Mary Boitano, what would Boitano do? Becomes the first woman to win the 6.8-mile Dipsea race, beating 1,500 runners.
She related to Brian Boitano?
You know what? I don't know, but I have a funny story about that. Remind me when we're done with this. I'll share that story. 2009, kidnapping victim J.C. Duggard is discovered alive in California after being missing for over 18 years. I remember that was a huge thing.
Yep. Crazy.
Yep. And last but not least, in 2019, the environmental organization Earth Alliance, which is basically Leonardo DiCaprio's organization, donated $5 million to fighting fires in the Amazon rainforest. And that is the notable birthdays and notable events of August 26th. So I hope you are now more educated and you can actually now go to Jeopardy, sir.
I don't know if I can go to Jeopardy, but I'm more educated.
You're like, shut up. Jeopardy's for losers. I'll take the rapey for 200, Alex.
Yeah, I like Celebrity Jeopardy on SNL and with Will Ferrell.
Yeah,
and,
dude, those are fun.
Norm Macdonald as Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, and then he changes his name to TURD Ferguson. Oh my god, I was laughing so hard. But still, nobody can beat Sean Connery, which is super funny.
Oh my god,
one of my favorite dudes. So it's great. But Chad, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being our guest tonight, and I am so excited the fact that you were so gracious. Hint, see what it was there to be here. Chad is the one half of the Gracious 2 podcast, which will be premiering on Voice of the People USA Radio and Television Network in September. So welcome to the family, welcome to the show, and by all means, thank you for being here with us tonight.
It is my pleasure, and thank you for having me, as I said earlier, and looking forward to joining Voice of the People.
Well, I'm telling you, this is probably going to be one of the best decisions you've never made, because it's expanding, and the fact that it's a pretty much a free speech type of thing, where nobody's going to be telling you what you should say, we shouldn't say, because that's not what it's supposed to be. The press and the media is supposed to be objective about everything they do, and they're not swaying one way or another. Everybody has to have an opinion, and we're very proud of actually allowing our creators and our podcasters to do that in this network. So
well, I'm of the belief, if you don't like what's being said, then don't listen.
Exactly. Hey.
Otherwise, don't try to shut it down or cancel it, or pull some crap with, I'm going to call management and report you. It's like, no, just don't listen. Just move on to the next thing. Go find something you like.
So I need to ask you a couple of questions, first of all, so we can set the mood and set the tone about this. Back in the 1990s, little known fact, 4 bandmates or classmates, really, of in York, Pennsylvania, correct?
Well, actually in the 80s when we started. 1985. band started in 1985, and Ed, the singer, joined in 1986. So, yes.
Oh, so you're one of the
80.
original members.
Yes.
I see, said the grasshopper. All right, so just walk us through this, man. So how did it start? Were you guys like sitting in biology class one day and be like, hey, let's start a band? How did it all play out?
Patrick and Chad. Well, we were all in band together. I played saxophone. Chad and Ed played trumpet. Patrick played various percussion instruments and bass. And Chad and Patrick are taking lessons from a teacher named Don Carn, who just retired this year from teaching at York City School District.
Uh-huh.
And this was at Edgar Falls Smith Middle School in York. And so they're taking lessons from him. And right around that time, I saw this neighborhood kid who had this drum set for sale at a yard sale, and I bought that. And I just set it up in my room and started learning how to play. I taught myself how to play. And I told Mr. Carn, was his name, is the teacher's name, that hey, I'm playing drums. He's like, well, you should get together with Patrick and Chad. They're playing bass and guitar. And we had our very first practice at his house, Mr. Carn's house, probably like April or May of 1985. And he encouraged us to join the talent show.
Nice.
That was in June of '85 for the middle school. We were 8th grade now. And we started practicing, and we got 2 songs together. We played, we had no singer, so it was just instrumental. We played U2's Like a Song and Jam on It, if you remember Jam on It.
Jam
on It. Exactly. And in that, so we practiced that. We got those 2 songs down. We played the talent show, and during the talent show, Chad Taylor actually, way before what's the guy's name from Rage Against the Machine, Tom Morello. Way before Tom Morello started scratching on his guitar, Chad Taylor did this in 1985 and Jam on It, and the crowd went crazy, and we won the talent show. And all the girls that we sort of liked in the school were screaming for us, and we're like, damn, this is pretty cool here. I like this.
So it was all for the chicks, man.
That's right. It was a big motivator. And Ed was in the audience, and then Ed was more friendly with Chad, so he came to Chad over the summer of '85 and asked to come to a rehearsal, to a practice. And we were like, yeah, sure, whatever. And he came in under the guise that he wanted to play guitar in the band, but then we were like, hey man, why don't you sing a song? And I think we did Summer of '69, Bryan Adams.
Yeah.
And he sang that, and I mean, I guess he sounded okay, because when he left, we were like, he's our singer. Boom.
And
so then from then on, as we entered high school in 9th grade, we were known as a band. We, at the time, we were our name at the talent show was First Aid.
Oh.
That's our very first name. And then we went through a bunch of different weird names until we settled on Public Affection for a while.
That's hilarious, dude.
And we named the band that in 11th grade. And then we graduated from high school in '89. We made our first record, which we raised money from our friends and family, $12,000 to make our first record. And we had gotten a manager by that time, and he's like, you need to make a record. So we fundraised, made the record as Public Affection. We got signed in so we graduated from high school in '89. The record was finished that year. We started playing at CBGB's in New York. And by 1991, we got signed to a major label deal. And the rest.
And contrary to popular belief, Throwing Copper was not your first album, right?
Nope. It was technically our 3rd record, but our 2nd record is live. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's another, like, what is it? Pain on the Riverside, right? It's one of the
Pain Lights on the Riverside, yeah.
Yeah, Pain Lights on the Riverside which is one of the actually one of the first ones I heard before Throwing Copper came out. And I was like, oh god, they're pretty good,
The first single from that record is called Operation Spirit, and that we made a video for that song, and it got debuted on MTV on something called 120 Minutes, if you remember that show.
Oh yeah, dude, that's right before Headbangers Ball.
Yeah, it was like the alternative music hour or 2 hours, whatever. And so it debuted on that, and we got put in the buzz bin at the time, and they just started playing the crap out of it, and we're like, wow, this is freaking cool. So there's a great story around us watching the video debut in Buzzbin. So we were in San Francisco, staying at a hotel called the Phoenix Hotel, which used to be where all the rock bands stayed in San Francisco. It's just like this little kind of motel, like a traditional motel with the courtyard and pool and stuff. And the rooms had TVs, but no cable in the room. So you had to go to if you wanted to watch cable, you had to go to the lobby.
Yeah.
So we checked in and we're there, and we see, holy shit, there's Kurt Cobain and there's freaking Dave Grohl and there's Chris Novoselic. Nirvana's staying at the hotel.
Oh, no way.
And so I think Chad went up to like Dave or Chris and was like, "Hey man, our we're in a band. Our video's debuting tonight on MTV. We're gonna watch it in the lobby. You guys want to come?" And they're like, "Yeah, fuck yeah!" So Dave Grohl and Chris Novoselic watched us debut our video with with us in the hotel lobby. And so that was cool. And then cut to like 2007. We're like, "Hey, we're in San Francisco playing the show," and we're like, "Let's go to the Phoenix Hotel and have a drink. We haven't been there in years." So we go to the bar. We're having a drink in the bar, and in walks Chris Novoselic. And so the bar manager puts us in the back room. So we're just hanging out with him, talking about that night and everything that's happened since, and it was fun. So
that's awesome. That's an awesome story, dude. Like like just even think that because those guys are now in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right? So this is ridiculous, just how good it is, and I'm surprised. And I don't. Please forgive my ignorance, but I don't know if you guys have been nominated to actually be added to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet. I mean,
not yet. Maybe someday.
That needs to happen, and it needs to happen soon. So let's start a petition. We should start a petition about this.
We'll see.
So, which is I don't even know because you guys. I mean, throwing copper is like 9-time platinum. If I remember correctly,
I think it's close to 9. It's still technically 8 times platinum, but getting close to 9.
I mean, what else? What else did they want? I mean, it's just it was one of the live was one of the staples of the '90s. You know what I mean? Like when you think '90s, you think of several bands. You think Pearl Jam, Nirvana, and then for me, it's live because you guys performed in Woodstock '94, right? You guys were there.
Yeah, 94 and 99. Yes, we did both.
Yeah. I mean, shoot. What else do you want? I mean, you know what? I'm gonna write a letter.
Write a letter.
Yeah.
Write somebody. Write a letter to somebody.
All right.
I'm
gonna write a letter right now and see what happens. But all right. So we've been talking about these whole things, and I think for a lot of us that are just music fans in general. When we're talking to people that are in bands that have been very successful and stuff like that, a lot of people get really, really starstruck. They're like, "Oh my god, I'm talking to I'm talking so and so," and it's a relief at the fact that you're just super down to earth and just you love to talk to the fans, love to talk to people, and that's just very refreshing because you don't really see that a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of people actually act like they are not worthy of talking to anybody because they're they have a higher status and whatnot. But from the first time I ever got onto your live on TikTok, it was just like, "Hey man, what's going on?" You made everybody feel welcome, not just me, everybody, answering everybody's questions like, "Yep, I did this, I did that." So I got to ask you some of the questions that you normally get on some of these lives, which is like, who was your biggest influencer or influence when you started playing drums?
Well, first of all, I like to stay down to earth and I like to be nice to people because I hate when celebrities or singers or whoever it is just treat people like shit because they're of their status or whoever the fuck they are. I freaking hate that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it annoys me. But one of my biggest influences is Larry Mullen Jr. from U2, and U2 was probably my most favorite band, and he's probably my most favorite drummer. And he's the only guy in the band that I have not met. I met Adam and Edge and Bono.
Dude, what the hell, man? Like you met everybody but the one that you really want to meet.
He's the elusive one. He doesn't fucking do much, so apparently.
Well, that's because I found that drummers are normally some drummers and bass players are usually the ones that are more reserved, and they're like, okay, you know what I mean? It just is. Up front, the lead guitarist and the front man are usually the ones that are always talking. They're like out there performing and stuff like that. So it just happens. But drummers and bass players are usually the ones that are like in the back. They like to have they're just way down to earth. I just that's what I found. Like normally this is my observation. So
That
So
is
yes, yeah.
generally true, except for Lars Ulrich.
Well, yeah.
I'm not
No, and
anything against
everybody,
Lars.
a lot of people have said
He's
that.
the talker. He's the talker of the band for sure. It's amazing.
Yeah. And also, I think, let me take it back too. I think Alex Van Halen is also another one that's pretty outspoken in the same way.
Well, yeah, I guess more so recently. I never saw him talk a whole lot back in the day, but maybe recently he's been talking more. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember in the '90s when they were trying to get together and came out in the VMAs, and they came out with David Lee Roth and then 2 days later, no, Dave, we're not getting back together. And I was like, then why did you guys come out together? Like, I don't understand that. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah,
weird.
like, I know it was weird. And then they kicked out Anthony, and then he ended up he's out there with Sammy Hagar. I'm like, okay, I don't understand this, but
Yeah, someone asked me the other day on the podcast. Someone asked me Van Hagar or Van Halen. I'm like, I liked the songs of Van Halen more with David Lee Roth, but I like the fact that Sammy Hagar seems like he's way more down to earth and a cooler guy. David Lee Roth just seems like he's off his fucking rocker.
Yeah. Well, there's I think there's 3 eras of Van Halen. Nobody ever remembers the third one.
Well, yes, there was
But
the other singer.
I mean, for me, there's 2 different bands, right? Van Halen and Van Hagar. There's 2 different bands there, right? So I like them both. Obviously, with Sammy, they had obviously a lot longer success because they had been around for a while, right? After Lee Roth left and started his own thing with as a solo artist, it was just completely different. But there's both of those bands are really good. You know what I mean? Because there's two different genres, really, to me. So I don't know. That's my intake. And then everybody keeps forgetting that the guy from Extreme actually ended up being in the band too.
Was that
Gary,
like 1 or 2 years, something like that?
Yeah, Gary something. I can't remember his last name. Everybody remembers Extreme with Nuno Betancourt, but I don't remember Gary's last name. So
I think it's Gary Sharon, is it?
Sharon, yes, thank you. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Welcome back to Jeopardy, Chad. You did good.
Thanks.
So, but yeah, that's awesome. Anybody else that you wanted to emulate when you're playing drums? I know Larry Mullins was your all-time favorite, but
yeah, he's the main one. When I was learning to play, that I was fixated mostly on U2 stuff, but I started playing to like we covered a ton of stuff when we were coming up in high school. We were basically a cover band, so we covered the Smiths, U2, REM. Bill Berry definitely is an influence on me because we loved REM. In Excess, John Farris was an influence as well. I don't know the name of the drummer of The Cure, but like Waterboy on Mental Jewelry is basically is it Just Like Heaven? No, I can't remember the name.
Just
of the
Like
song.
Heaven. Just like heaven.
Anyway, I'll think of the title, but so there's a song where it's just like kind of like Waterboy for me anyway. That I took from the Cure drummer.
Yeah.
And then the Smiths, was it Mike Joyce, the drummer of the Smiths.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know who the Smiths are, though. That's the thing. Everybody knows who Morrissey is,
right?
But Morrissey was
Smiths are way better.
Yeah. Way better, dude. Sorry. Panic on the streets of London. Yeah, way.
And then we got into the '90s, and I started really getting into, I dig Dave Cruisen a lot. I know Dave. We're friends on Instagram, and he's the original drummer that played on 10, and then didn't tour with them. So
right.
I really
that whole album was just great, dude. Alive. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And his grooves are super awesome, man. Like his grooves.
Oh my god, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, sorry, I'm nerding out right now. Like the grooves, and I always want to, emulate. Like as a drummer, you try to kind of pick up on what other people are doing, and he was one of the ones that I really really liked. And then after a while, you're like, oh, shoot. And everybody will always say, every drummer will always say that John Bonham from Led Zeppelin is a big influence for every rock drummer, right?
I was coming around to that, but yes, yeah. I mean, obviously. What John Bonham gave to rock drumming is just unfathomable. So definitely in there. And then we get into the 90s. I was like, I really like Eric Kretz from STP and Matt Cameron from Soundgarden. Who later with Pearl Jam. Now left Pearl Jam. And then of course Dave Grohl. I love anything he plays drums on.
Dave Grohl, I love Dave Grohl. He's like, dude, I am the most fucking basic drummer ever.
I know. I was like saying to Pharrell, I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like Tony Thompson, Black Goon, Black Goon. Like, yeah, well. And I did.
So
we did cover the Power Station, a couple of the Power Station songs. Tony Thompson played on that. So, but yeah.
Dude,
anyway,
it's so good. I love Dave Grohl, and the fact that he's probably one of the only few that are actually in the Hall of Fame for two different bands.
Right.
Because through Foo Fighters and also the first for Nirvana. So
he'll probably get in with Queens of the Stone Age too, maybe.
Oh yeah, dude. But there were also wasn't he with there was another. Oh no, I'm thinking of Chris Cornell because Chris Cornell and Pearl Jam did that other one. I'm going hungry. Remember, I'm going hungry.
Oh yeah, Mad Season.
No, wasn't Mad something. Somebody will say something. I can't remember the name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because that was huge. Like obviously that whole Seattle grunge area, they all got together. It was just like one huge family over there. So it was just kind of cool.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that this has been over 30 years, dude. I cannot believe that. I still feel like I'm, like I'm a teenager, and in Spanish, Spanish, there's a term for us. It's called chavo, which is young man, ruco, which is like old man. So we're like chavo rucos, which is like you're a young old man,
Yes.
So it's funny because I was like, oh, dude, I feel like that. I have a 65-year-old body. I can't.
I don't know about that for me, but.
Well, I have the dad bod, and I have like a really bad back in the military, So you gotta, that's just how it is, Like
I just trip out every time I'm putting the date into something. I have to scroll down to 1971. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is gonna get worse and worse.
Oh, dude.
I used to just go 1971. Great.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. Now they're like, oh, dude, we're in the 2020s. Jesus, what the hell's wrong with us right now? So, I want to ask you a couple of things, dude. And I know that you're a big family man. And what is like nowadays? Like you completely changed your. I don't want to say your life about everything, right? But you put family first, correct? This is what I've noticed about you, and this is that's such a great thing, in the fact that you still put family first. Are they now one of your biggest I want to say priorities?
Oh, for sure, yeah. So when I had my son in 2009, Ed decided to leave the band at that point, so I got to spend a lot of time with my son growing up, and I watched all the guys in the band have kids and be on the road and shit. And I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to have kids and like be away from them all the time. And so, Ed leaving the band in 2009 kind of was a little bit of a godsend for me, because I got to hang out with my son all the time, more so than I would have been on the road. And then kind of the same thing in 2014 when they had the girls, I have twin girls, and I got to be with them. And nowadays, I take him to school every day. I'm divorced now from the mother, but we have good co-parenting, and I have him every other week, 50-50 custody. And so yeah, I get to take him to school, go to all their activities, enjoy the time with them. And it's the most valuable thing to me, is spending time with them. My son's 15, he's going on 16, he's going to start leaving soon and doing his own thing. And that's cool. I get it. So
did you buy him a car yet, dude?
No, I'm gonna give him a car when he turns 16 in October here. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
My oldest just turned 18. Well, no, he's 19 now. He's gonna be 19, and he's in college. And I'm like, God, I had him in 2006, and it was. Yeah, it was crazy. It was right after I got out of the active duty military, and I was going to school in San Diego State, and so that's when I had him. My second boy, I had him with my ex-wife, and I was deployed. I was in Afghanistan. Dude, I kid you not, dude. I was working, And next thing you know, is like I was FaceTiming through I was on Facebook, and they're like, "Hey, she's about to have, she's about to have." I was like, "Okay, let me go run back to my room." So I go running back to my room, and I got to go out, get out of a secure area, go all the way out, pick up my phone, go all the way back, and then go into my room. And then I kid you not, this is when Skype was big, in 2018. And I logged into Skype, and next thing I know is like I literally logged in. A minute later, she had them. I was like, "Oh my god!" Barely made it. Barely made it.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. I went back to work, and I had a box of cigars that my buddy had sent me. He's like, "Yeah, man, pass these out." I was like, "Yeah, yes." I was like passing, we had little cigars, and then in the middle of our break, we're outside and smoking the cigars. Dude, it was pretty awesome. That was super cool.
I'm glad you got to see it. Yeah, for sure. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
That had to be tough, be deployed though, and
I've missed a lot, and a lot of people don't realize just how much of a sacrifice it is for military families. Not only the service member, but also the families, right? Because you get to miss a lot. Like I've missed birthdays, I've missed holidays, I've missed Christmases, I've missed anything you can think of. You miss, because you're pretty much gone all year, and the next thing you know, you come back and it's like, okay, well, where did we pick? Let's pick up where we left off, or we'll have to wait for a vacation until I get back so we can go somewhere else. And so you always miss something. There's always something to miss, and the people don't realize it. But
I definitely empathize. I mean, touring musicians obviously it's not as in depth as being overseas for a year or whatever, so it's a little different. But I understand it in a way.
Yeah,
you're away from all the events and the daily happenings and all that stuff. So,
right.
Yeah.
Because you guys' tours are, I mean, they're can be anywhere from 3 to 6 months, right? And then you'll have dates, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you'll have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, where you guys go back home, unless you're traveling on the depending. I mean, you're right. It's a little different. I'm not saying that I'm not taking anything away from that, but it's a little bit different in the fact that you still have those. You're still able to call them. You're still able to do that. And for the military families, it's not kind of the opposite. Where like if they're out on a mission, they won't be able to call until they come back, or maybe they won't call back at all. So it all depends. But deployments or even being on the road, it's almost the same. You're right, and it does take a lot of patience from the families, on both sides, because I'm sure that you went through the struggles being on the road for that, because couldn't really, like you said, you were lucky at the fact that you were able to have your child after you were pretty much kind of, I don't want to say semi-retired, but kind of like took a break from the band because Ed left in 2009.
Yeah, I definitely took a break from the kind of touring that we were doing with Ed at that point. And then we, the girls were born in 14 and we came back together in 16, started touring in 17, 18, 19, but it wasn't as intense as the touring was before.
Yeah.
So, and the kids came out on the road with me a few times, so that was nice. But
so let me ask you this. So what was your favorite part of being on the road?
Probably, I mean, early on, it was just the fact that we were kids, like in our early 20s when we first started touring. It was just going to different places and seeing all this crazy new stuff and different cities and the touristy stuff, and then obviously doing the shows. After you've been to those cities multiple times all over the world, you're just like, okay, I've already seen all the touristy stuff. I've been to all the restaurants. I've seen this. I'm just gonna hang in my room. So at that point, it just became like the best thing about the day was doing the show. So the shows were always great and fun to do.
Yeah. Where was your favorite place that you toured?
I like touring in Australia, and I like touring in South Africa. Although I wouldn't go back right now; it's a little dangerous.
Just a little bit.
We just had a guy named Dylan on our show today on Gracious 2, talking about what's going on in South Africa, which is a whole different podcast. But yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed South Africa and Australia the most. I'd like to go back to Australia as a tourist, not on tour. Just go back as a travel around, check out stuff outside of the cities. Go further north. I've never been up to like Cairns or Townsville or whatever. It's up north near the Great Barrier Reef. But anyway, that was one of my favorite places.
I went to Australia when I was in the Navy, right? So we went to Perth and Fremantle. Wow, one of the best places on earth.
Yeah, Perth
I
is great.
really, I really recommend it, right? And then we went to Tasmania because it's
Yes,
the island
cool.
right off of on the other side of Sydney, across from Sydney,
Yep.
kind of. And so we went there, and man, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. It was like 2001, 2002, right before the World Cup in Japan. I was like, man, I'm gonna go back to Japan to go to the World Cup. Yeah, I didn't go. I was so
They're
pissed.
gonna have the
Yeah.
World Cup here in LA soon, so that's gonna be pretty wild.
I know, man. It's so there's a lot of different places, and it's gonna be here in Dallas as well.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to get media passes to actually go. So if you want to see if you can get media passes, we could try to get you some media passes, my friend.
Maybe.
So it'll be cool. But all right. So I just want to ask. So we're just pretty much talking about anything today, and I want to talk to you about your podcast, because I know you have a very serious podcast. It's called The Gracious Two, and you have one half of the show. Your other half, J Ro, right, as he's known on the podcast himself. I want people to know Chad in a different light. Everybody knows Chad of the band. He's a great drummer, great musician, great dude. But there's really more of a there's a lot of more substance in Chad, and I like the fact that this podcast, like, I thought it was going to be like music, and I mean it is, but it's not. It's a hell of a lot
That's
more
what I'm
than
used to
that.
guess.
Yeah, there's a hell of a lot more than that, and you'll be surprised at the fact that it's a really good talk show. So tell us a little bit about your show. It's called The Gracious Two.
The Gracious Two, yeah. So John and I met. John had a podcast called Good Times Universe, and he's a big live fan. So I mean, he has stories of seeing us on the road and stuff. He has a hilarious story about losing his mom and his girlfriend into our dressing room in a show in New Jersey one time, and he had to go find them. It's funny for him to tell. But I did his podcast twice. The first time it was just like talking about the band, and then the second time he came to York, and we were at the studio, Think Loud Studios, and we had a little whiskey during the show. We're just talking about stuff, and after the show, he's like, "Hey man, would you want to do a podcast together?" I'm like, "I never even thought about it. Sure, let's do it." So yeah, I mean, it's it can be a little controversial. I'm on TikTok. I stay pretty politically agnostic on purpose.
Yeah.
But it's I mean, listen, I skew to the right. I don't like a lot of the stuff that the left does, so I talk about that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, man, because I mean, people have, I want to say, branded me, but they have said like, "Oh, you should be voting one way because you're a minority and you're this." It's like,
that's the kind of stuff that pisses me off right there.
Yeah,
You got to vote way because you look a certain way. You
Yeah,
have to vote for a certain party. It's like, come on, man.
exactly. Like, where does that come from, man? Like, honestly, that is the most ignorant thing you can say to anybody, because that just you're basically insulting their intelligence. You know what I mean? Like, I'm able to make my own decision based on what's best for me, and who has the best idea. Do I agree with all the ideas? No, I don't. But they're aligning a lot more to where I like, and that's how I base my decision. And it doesn't have to be one way or another to say, I'm like you. I'm like very politically agnostic, where I don't sway one way or another. But you're not gonna sit there and tell me that I'm supposed to vote one way because I'm a minority. Like, oh, you're Mexican, you're supposed to vote. It's like, no, I don't. I do not. That's the most ignorant thing.
And there seems to be generally one side telling you that, so that's what I don't like. This is kind of what I rail against on the show. But we'll spend like 15-20 minutes going off about, I call it current events, whatever is happening out there, whatever the talk of the day is, and then we'll have a guest on. And that can be anywhere from a super live fan to, we've had a guy named Larry Hankin, who is a famous actor. You know his face. He was in Home Alone and Seinfeld, the Seinfeld show, and cover up a bunch of other things. We've had like psychologists on. We've had community activists of all political persuasions as well. So
Right.
we've had Flat Earth Dave on, who lectured us on the Earth being flat, which is fucking hilarious, but very entertaining. But like, I don't believe the Earth is flat, but it was funny to have him go through his whole spiel. So yeah, I mean, we just kind of get whoever we can think of, or whoever we're liking, or if we have get a line on somebody, and that's kind of a good reason. One of the reasons we want to join Voice of the People, because I think we'll have access to different kinds of guests, maybe higher caliber guests, and
Yes, sir.
and we've been trying. We've done the whole thing grassroots at this point. We haven't done any advertising. We've just been putting the show on Rumble, and goes on Rumble, Twitter, Facebook. We go live every Tuesday, and Rumble, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter, or X, excuse me.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, we've just been grassroots, bootstrapping it, and the Voice of People thing is I think a good next step for us.
Exactly. That's how it starts, man. And I know you guys have gotten a pretty good following, and you guys have gotten pretty good responses into your podcast. So it's good to hear that you guys are doing well in that regard, and you guys have cemented yourselves in with a niche.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean,
we're from that. So
I just have fun doing it. It's kind of like the way music was for me. It was fun to do. I enjoyed it. Wasn't something I ever thought about doing, a podcast, talking. Being the drummer in the back, I didn't say a lot anyway. So, but I have an opinion now. So
that's right, and it's gonna be cemented pretty well. But so yeah, you mentioned you being in the back and not being able to talk. So is that a big change for you to actually be in front of a mic and actually stating your beliefs, your thoughts, your opinions about things? Is that a big change?
I mean, yeah, it was a big change when I first did it. Absolutely. I didn't even. It's like I said earlier. It's not something I even thought about doing. Like, there was no thought like, oh, I want to do a podcast and talk about what I want to talk about. I mean, it's like, if in the band, if we had if we did an interview with all four of us, I wouldn't say a damn word, because it's just like everyone else is talking. If there was two of us, I might get a little word here and there, but I just didn't talk a lot. But so the podcast is definitely an outlet for me to speak more.
Well, I've been told that I have a face for radio, so which is, it's not hard to swallow, because I mean, I agree with it to a point, but at the same time, it's like I have the gift of gab, and so some people's like, "Damn, Caesar, like, you just shut the hell up and let them talk." I'm like, "What, man? I'm just so excited. Like, these words are coming. I'm making it sense in my own world. All right, just let's just go with it." But sometimes it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. So I've had guests, and I'm pretty sure you've had these too, that you have to like constantly prompt them to give you a response, or like they give you a response of like, yes.
Right. This is where John is way more fluid in that. I'm not that guy. Like, John, that's where we're a good team, because John can get those people talking, where I would just be like, okay, well, I guess you're not going to answer. I'll sit here too.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's hard. Like, sometimes people don't really realize just how animated it is. A good interview for me has been where if I have a lot to talk about, and by the time I look at the clock, it's like, oh my God, I have 15 minutes left on the show. Yeah. And they're like, you still have so much more to talk about. And I'll tell them, hey, look, we're about to come up on the 2 hours that I promised that I requested from you. We still have so much more to talk about. We're having a lot of fun. We still have a lot of engagement here with the people. Do you still want to do this? They're like, yeah. I was like, all right, let's go. So we just keep going. That's one of the best things that you can have as a host, where people don't want to leave your show because they're so involved in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we had a guy named Rod Bland, who was a pretty famous blues drummer from down in Memphis, and his father was a really famous blues singer. And we did our longest podcast with him. He's a big fan of me and live and stuff, and so just to have him on, a super cool guy. We did like 3.5 hours with him. It was our longest podcast ever.
Nice.
We were just talking. It was just amazing. So yeah, again,
you already met Dan Smeriglio, who is the host of Politishock. His shows, dude, they go like 6 hours. They're a marathon, and I was like, oh my god, how do you do it? He's like, dude, I don't know, it just happens. And he's like, when people start getting chirp a lot, right? So they're talking a lot of shit like during the comments, and he's just like laying into him. He's like, oh, I
Oh, he
was
has a
there.
bunch of negative comments and stuff. That
Yeah.
is blazing. Oh yeah, yeah.
And he's like, I'm glad of that. Please keep it coming because you're feeding the machine here. You're feeding, into the lives, and we're getting more views because of you. And he's just egging him on. I was like, dang it. I'd be like, I'm out.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we haven't had any guests on yet where it's been combative. Like
Right.
I said, we have guests from all political
Walks of life,
backgrounds,
yeah.
and so and if I sense that they're leaning to the left or whatever, it's fine. I don't start challenging them. I generally don't want to get into like a pissing match
Right.
on the air with them, but I just kind of leave it be. Like, okay, got your opinion, I have my opinion. We'll just keep talking about what we're talking about here.
Well, it's what people don't realize. Agree to disagree. Like we don't have that anymore in our society, right?
No, unfortunately not. That's kind of the reason I don't want to do it on our show. It's like we don't agree politically, but we don't have to get in a big fight about it like on the
Exactly.
air.
And again, like I respect your response, and I respect your stance. But a lot of times, like people forget that, and it's like, what the hell, man? Like, you don't give me the same courtesy. Like, I'm not gonna debate you, or sorry, I'm not gonna negate what you're saying, and I'm also not going to diminish anything that you're trying to accomplish because those are your beliefs. I get it. But don't sit there and tell me that I'm supposed to do this, and this because it's the right thing. But you're not going to listen to me,
Right,
or to
exactly.
my point of view. I sat there and heard you, but you're here. You're throwing a pissy fit because you don't want to hear it.
Mm-hmm. It's wild.
No response. So, all right. Well, we'll go from there. But all right. So we've come to the part of the show where we're going to take a little break. We are going to, I'm going to play a little video for Chad because Chad, one of the biggest things that we agree, well, not agreed on, but that I really admire from him is that he is a very big supporter of the military families and all the veterans. So I want to show you this video. This was one done by a very good friend of mine, Bailey Vaughn. She is the morning anchor for KTEN here locally. She did a great piece on one of our VFW Post members here in Sherman, Texas, where he is a 97-year-old or 96-year-old, but he's 97 now. This is a couple years ago.
Wow.
96-year-old World War II, Vietnam, and Korea. So he's a pre-war veteran, dude. So, and a Marine at that. Okay. Think about that. A Marine in 3 wars, it's kind of unheard of.
Yes.
Because Marines are, Marines
usually
are just
first to fight.
Well, that and unfortunately, we know them as sponges or expendable, and this is just what it is. It's as a Marine, that's a big feat. World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. So it's crazy. So without further ado, I want to play you. It's called The Tootsie Roll Man, and this is by Gunnery Sergeant Jim Hahn, and it's by Bailey Vaughn. So when we come back, we're going to keep talking to Chad about more and more stuff about live, more stories, more things about that. So please stay tuned with us here on Voice of the People U.S.A. Radio and Television Network, BUC Digital, and Patriot Radio. So thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And when we come back, we're going to be talking some more to Chad. And it's going to be one of those days. So stay with us. And let's play the role.
As he approaches his 96th birthday, Jim Hahn still remembers intimate details about his time serving as a Marine in World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. And he also remembers how it all started.
Mother wasn't going to sign. I told her, I said, if you don't sign this, I'll lie about my age. And she signed.
He was inspired to enlist when walking down the street at 16 years old. He tells K10 he saw some people messing with a Marine and his girlfriend.
They was doing anything they could try to make him mad. He told his girlfriend there to go down and wait for him at the red light at the end of the street there. He turned around and whipped all 4 of those guys.
A year later, he was off to San Diego for basic training. Han joined the occupation force in both China and Japan during World War II, which marks the only time in the history of Japan that it has been occupied by a foreign power. A bitter time these days, though. Gunnery Sergeant Han holds tight to the sweeter moments.
It's going into Japan, into town. I seen all these little kids running around there, and they look like they're hungry and everything else. So I started in getting candy from our PX and taking it in there and giving it to the little kids. It got to where whenever I'd come inside the city limits, man, here come all these kids.
What he didn't realize at the time, candy would one day become his lifeline. In November of 1950, just a few months after the Korean War began, 8,000 fighters, mostly Marines, were trapped in the Chongjin Reservoir, surrounded by 120,000 Chinese soldiers. And you guessed it, Sergeant Han was one of those Marines.
If somebody told me this, I'd have thought of him as being a liar, because I did not think that it would get 90 degrees below zero. I seen guys just walking along, and all of a sudden I could stop walking, and they just did. They'd freeze to death while they was walking.
Freezing, barely hanging on to life. The Marines called for ammunition using their code word, Tootsie Roll.
I never will forget that. They got on the radio there and talking to them, said, send us some Tootsie Rolls. And they was talking about ammunition, a certain type of ammunition.
Well, the soldier on the other end of that radio took the message literally, and they dropped into the reservoir Tootsie Rolls.
Here's this 3 planes there coming out with these parachutes coming down there with Tootsie Rolls. It's supposed to be ammunition, but it's Tootsie Rolls. But if it hadn't been for them, a lot of us, including me, would probably starve to death.
Those little chocolate candies were the fuel that sustained the troops. All other provisions were frozen, so they survived on the chocolate.
It seemed impossible that they was there for any other reason than to save my life. I thank God many times for the fact that I lived through all of it. Didn't lose any arms or legs or anything out of way. I sat in this foxhole, and people all around me freezing. And some reason or other I didn't.
He says all he thought about was his next breath and how he would use it.
I don't know, I still think about it sometimes. I know that God saved me from it. Try to thank God 3 or 4 or 5 times a day about that.
Decades later, Sergeant Han literally holds on to that memory with a bucket of Tootsie Rolls made specifically for him with American flags after the company heard his story. Those Marines that made it out are now revered as the heroes of the Frozen Chosen. But this one calls Texoma home, and he chooses to spend his time right here in the Sherman VFW.
I feel like they're brothers. This, to me, is part of the military.
As this veteran reflects on a life of service most would never know, Han would do every second of it again. The few, the proud, the Marines.
It was such an honor to be able to sit down with Jim, and I just want to say right here on the record, thank you for your service. Not only a World War II veteran, a 3-war veteran. He decided to just keep going back. I know.
And you know, I had heard that, I knew that there was something involving Tootsie Rolls, but that was the first time I actually heard that full story, and that is so incredible.
And he's just walking around
Why do 90% of regulars say the Black Sheep Lounge just feels different? Is it the hand-picked cigars, the signature cocktails, or the warm, welcoming crowd? Let's find out what makes this place a true Denison gem. At the Black Sheep Lounge, we believe in celebrating the finer things without the fuss. Our walk-in humidor is stocked with premium cigars for every palate, from those discovering their first smoke to lifelong aficionados. But we're more than cigars. Our bartenders craft old fashions the old-fashioned way, rich, smooth, and perfectly balanced every time. What really sets us apart? It's the atmosphere. Picture low lights, plush chairs, and a community that welcomes newcomers and regulars alike. Whether you're looking to unwind after work, catch up with friends, or just enjoy a quiet moment, you'll find your spot here. So, swing by 127 West Main Street and see why the Black Sheep Lounge is downtown Denison's unique hideaway. Pull up a chair, light up, and raise a glass with us. You belong here.
Welcome back to the Battle Rhythm Podcast. I am here with the one and the only Chad Gracey, founding member and drummer of the band Alive. And let me tell you, it has been a great honor to be interviewing him tonight because, as shared previously, he is one of my favorite drummers in the realm of alternative rock. One of my biggest songs that I loved playing along with was I Alone, and also White Discussion, which a lot of people don't realize that White Discussion is actually probably my top favorite, to be honest with you. And let me just say that to me, White Discussion has probably one of the best grooves ever. So yeah, I'll say you're welcome. So how did that come about? Like, how do you, in the creative process, how did you come to lay down the track? What is your process like?
I'm usually inspired or key off of either the guitar idea or the bass idea, and then once, so we someone would bring an idea, usually on guitar, sometimes Patrick on bass or on guitar, and whatever rhythm they were playing is the rhythm we'd start to mess around with.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of set the tone for my part, and then as the song would develop, especially once melody was introduced, then I'd start to key off of that too and do different fills or different parts around the melody as well. So it was a long process. I mean, I Alone was one of the songs that came together pretty fast. Ed brought that to practice one time. Basically the verse and then the chorus. But yeah, just keyed off of what he was doing. I forget who brought White Discussion idea to the band. I can remember the room where we put that together, but it was like it was an old pizza restaurant that we rented because we're always looking for places to friggin' write,
Right.
But yes. So yeah, I mean it's a combination of keying off the guitar part, that's the original guitar part, and then once Ed would introduce the melody, starting to use that as well.
So what was your favorite part of actually from beginning to end? What was your favorite part? Was it the creative process? Was it the putting it together process, or was it the pre or the post getting to the concert part?
Well, I mean, early on when we were writing songs, we'd get in a room and do it together, and that's what I think we came up with some of our best material. And when you would put a song together and get the chills from the song, I
right.
knew it was like that was great. That I love doing that. But then I think performing became more of my enjoyable part of it. Doing live shows. The studio was always stressful because back in the day we would record everything in the room
Right.
live, if you will. So we'd set up in the studio, and obviously when you're recording, the first thing you're going for is drum and sometimes bass, because
Mhm.
guitars and vocals can overdub and do all the overdub. So we would perform it in the room together, but we're really going for the drums. So that became stressful on me, just to make sure that I played what I wanted to play and remembered to put the things where I wanted to put the things. And sometimes you have happy mistakes where you've messed it up in your mind, but it turns out to be better that way.
And then you can't replicate it later.
Yeah, and you can't play it again. You're like, fuck, I can't do it. Yeah.
I did that so many times. I was like, oh god. So what has been your most favorite venue that you played at? You mentioned Australia was your favorite place to be, but
yeah.
what has been your most favorite venue?
Red Rocks in Colorado. We've played there quite a few times. Yeah, it's amazing.
Who was when you guys were when you guys were growing up, when you guys were coming up, who was your most favorite band that you actually opened up for?
We got to open for the Pixies in 1989. We were big Pixies fans too. It's one of the bands I forgot to mention, but we opened for them in 1989 in a club called the Chameleon in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is half an hour from York. So that was the biggest band that we opened for at that point. And we were a fan of them. And then I'm trying to think of other bands that we didn't. Fortunately, we didn't have to do a lot of opening. We became headliners pretty fast. Our very first nationwide tour, it was Blind Melon, us, Public Image Limited, which is Johnny Lydon and Johnny Rotten from Sex Pistols.
Johnny Rotten. I haven't heard
Yeah.
that name in forever.
Yeah. And then it was a Big Audio Dynamite, which was Mick from Clash, Mick from the Clash,
Right.
guitar player, singer. So that was a fun tour for us because it was our first nationwide tour. We had enough money to get a bus that almost killed us. It's another story. But to be on the tour, to be on the road with those kind of veterans on the road, like Johnny Lydon, freaking Mick and all the musicians that were with them were all veterans. But of course, it was Blind Melon and Blind Melon. The guitar player from Blind Melon, Chris Thorne, is from Dover, Pennsylvania, which is right outside of York. So we had that in common. And
right.
But
For
yeah,
whatever reason, I thought that you guys were from Ohio. I don't know why I thought you guys were from Ohio.
No, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But then after that, we started just kind of doing our own headlining stuff. We had, once Throwing Copper came out, we went from we headlined clubs on Throwing Copper all the way until the end of Throwing Copper. We were headlining arenas.
Mhm.
And so we were fortunate that way. We didn't have to do a lot of, we in the 2000s, we opened for Jane's Addiction on a tour, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Big fan of Jane's Addiction as well. Stephen Perkins, amazing drummer.
Dave Navarro.
I mean, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see their disintegration on TV.
Yeah, dude, that was
Like,
crazy.
whoa.
Oh, I was like, dang, that was like I don't even know what the hell happened there, to be honest. It was just weird. Hey,
Perry lost his shit for some reason. Who knows?
Yeah. And
I guess there's the band's now suing Perry. Did you see that the police are now suing Sting, Andy Summers and
Stuart Copeland?
Stuart Copeland are suing Sting for like $400 million. I'm like, holy shit.
No, I didn't know. I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, it just came out, so I think it's just the news today.
Oh
Freaking
my
wild.
gosh.
So,
I'm telling you, man, like frontman, I swear. They just give you headaches. And I'm glad you got the memo on wearing the black shirt because I'm wearing the black shirt. So thank you for the memo.
I always wear.
My wife was like, "Do you have like another shirt that goes with it?" I was like, "Yeah, I have this other black shirt. You want me to wear that one?"
I got a whole rack of black shirts, man.
It's right.
I got like 20 of them. So,
dude, I'm telling you, like, hey, this is the true classic. I'm not being paid by it, but true classics are.
I think this is a true classic too. It's not the more polyester one. It's more the cotton one. But yeah,
yeah,
true classic.
But they're so comfortable.
Yeah, they are.
It's cool. It's exactly. So I wear
a new T-shirt called Underdog that are hemp based, and they're supposed to be way more durable. Yeah, I want to try some out, see what they're like.
Dude, let me know because I'll buy some of them and be like, okay, well, here we go. That's cool. All right, so when some of the bands that actually opened up for you while you guys were headlining, which are some of the bands that are now bigger than life that you can remember?
Well, Weezer opened for us in '94.
Oh wow!
And that right as the Sweater song was starting to blow up. So that was cool. They were great, except for the bass player was this guy named Matt Sharp at the time. He was not a nice. He was a dick. I'll just say he was a fucking dick.
No holds barred, dude. I'm telling you, it's fine.
Yeah. And so whatever. And then PJ Harvey opened for us, which is great. Veruca Salt.
Veruca Salt.
And
I remember that, dude. They're awesome.
Then in Europe, Muse opened for us in like '99 or 2000, like very early on in their career. So that was cool to see.
Muse is the one that has that. No, that's the oh shoot.
No, Muse is the three-piece British guys.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about that one that has the hat and it's like electronic or whatever. Sorry, I can't remember his name. Deaf Mouse or Deaf Mouse.
Oh, you talking about the DJ guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what I was thinking.
No, not him.
My bad.
Who else? I can't think of many others at that point. The Catherine Wheel, if you remember them, they opened for us. I was kind of a fan of those guys.
Yeah.
I think there's a guy named Vic Chestnut who opened for us on the Mental Jewelry tour, and he was in a wheelchair. He's basically a paraplegic, almost a quadriplegic, but he could play guitar. But he could sing, and he was a friggin' wild guy. He was funny as hell.
Yeah.
But he slipped acid into Chad Taylor's drink in Portland, Oregon, when he went on stage.
Oh God.
So he started losing it. We're like, what the fuck is going on? Like Chad, we played the show and almost got through the whole show, and then Chad just ran off stage into a room and he was like, what the fuck? We're like, what's going on?
That is funny.
And then Vic was just sitting back like,
Yeah, he was funny.
Oh my God. Yeah. Hilarious.
Oh man, I'm sure you have plenty of stories to write a book, and have.
Oh, we opened for Marilyn Manson in Europe in the 2000s, and we have a great story from that. But it's long.
Hey, you're in front of the show. You come back anytime and you want to actually do tell these stories of what it is.
Fun story.
We'll bring you back on every August 26th.
Cool. Annual thing.
Annual thing. That's right. And now back to our second annual. Oh man, that's funny. All right, so I wanted to ask you, because a lot of people ask on these lives, and I'm telling you, like, TikTok is just kind of blowing up right now for you, as it is for me. And I like the fact that when you do these lives, you're just answering the questions of the fans, and a lot of people just kind of join and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I want to ask you the things that they're asking you, because a lot of people don't really realize, now that you I don't want to say you're semi-retired, but you kind of like you're seeking other endeavors, and you're branching out on different things. Who are some of the bands that you're listening to now that you're like thinking like, man, these guys are going to be pretty damn big. They're going to be good.
I get asked this all the time on live, and I have no answer for it because I don't listen to a lot of new stuff. There's the newest band that I've listened to that I like is called Royal Blood, 2-piece from England, and the drummer Ben Thatcher is amazing. I really love his playing. But like as far as like other new bands, I don't know any. The only thing I know some pop stuff because my girls are 11 and they listen to Sabrina Carpenter and Chappell Roan and that kind of stuff. So, but like
have they asked you to go to the Taylor Swift concert yet? Well,
they were in Taylor Swift back in 24 for about 6 months, and then they were like they were over it fast. As fast as they got into it, they were over it. I'm like, okay, great. So no, they haven't.
That's awesome, dude. And so I live pretty close to Gwen Stefani and her husband, what's his name? The dude from The Voice. What's his name? Lake Shelton. Yeah. So they live about 45 minutes from where I live. And so we always we've gone to his restaurant up in where it's at here. It's not far, it's about 45 minutes. And we're like, oh dude, we're gonna meet him this time. We're gonna be there. We've been there, a couple times, and we haven't run into him, and we see it on social media. He'll like show up the next day. It's like, oh my God, one day, Yeah. So but I'm like, dude, if they ever do, if No Doubt ever does a show and then you're around and you do a show with them, dude, I'm like, I'm gonna be the biggest groupie ever. Be like, dude, let me in, let me go, because I want to go see. Like, No Doubt was one of my other favorites. You know what I mean? Like, who else was doing ska of '94, right?
The original.
Yep. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, there was an original because it was the band from England. God, they sang that song. Father, where's his father? Sunday's Best. Our House. Madness. Thank you. Yeah, that was like some of the original ones.
That was in the '80s, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Sky. And then in the '90s, you had Real Big Fish, and you had No Doubt, and then you had a couple others. I was kind of in that era, and then I ended up getting into the punk rock scene with like NoFX, and then Pennywise and Guttermouth, and Unwritten Law. Those bands, that's where I really started getting into, right? But at the same time, because I was a musician and I was a drummer in a band, I had to get like a lot of different licks and a lot of different roles or fills from a lot of different genres, right?
Sure.
One of my favorite genres that obviously is alternative, and Nirvana and you guys and Pearl Jam. But then also at the same time, I started getting into blues, right? Like Stevie Ray Vaughan was big during that time. I think he passed away like a few years before, but Stevie Ray Vaughan was was huge then.
Jeff Buckley too, who passed away in '94.
Yeah,
that was kind of '90s blues, if you will.
Exactly. And then what was that? Johnson, Eric Johnson, was it Eric Johnson with like something Dover, Flight to Dover, I think it was called. Anyway, the dude was just ridiculous. It was just a great song. I'll have to play it one of these days. I just have to get the release for it. But yeah, it's so just as a drummer, you start getting all these different things and from different genres, right? And I started listening to a lot of like Mexican or Spanish rock. And so I started getting a lot of different things because they bring a completely different rhythm into the song. So you want to incorporate into some of those things. So you start learning. So, but it's I don't even know where I was going with this. I think my ADHD got the best of me at this point.
And we did a squirrel, all right.
Cool. Yeah, seriously, that squirrel is like I think my wife was actually texting me during that time. That's what was happening. So,
yeah. Have you ever watched Jen Smith on like through her life? She is the queen of squirrels. If she's watching this, she'll know. She's just like, it's like something will get her attention. She'll go off on a tangent.
So is Tiffany. Tiffany's kind of the same way. Like something happens and like her video now of the bee chasing her is infamous.
Oh yeah,
that thing was hilarious. She's like, "Oh my god, the bee!" It was the funniest thing.
She's dunking herself in the pool. That was funny.
I know. So last week I had your business partner on the show, Bill Hines, the Thrill. Yeah. He's actually a pro race player, a driver, X, for X Games and all that stuff like that. And so I want to ask you, how long have you known Bill?
Met Bill in around 2007 or 8.
Wow, so almost 20 years.
Yeah, quite a few
crazy.
Years.
Do you? Cause he's from Jersey, I believe. So where did you guys meet? Did you guys meet?
He's from Jersey, but he lives in Pennsylvania. He lives in a little town called Nazareth, Pennsylvania. That's when he's not in New York, but so yeah, he's originally from New Jersey. Yes, we met him through a mutual lawyer. When we met him at the time, he's good friends with Michael Andretti and the Andrettis, Mario and Michael and Marco. Kind of all the Andrettis, but because the Andrettis were based in Nazareth, Pennsylvania forever and ever. And Mario still lives there. So does Marco. But Michael moved the team that he now sold, but he moved the team to Indianapolis. So Bill was shopping a reality show based on Michael's team at the time, which was like Danica Patrick and a couple other famous race car drivers. And he was trying to get, trying to shop a reality show, like a reel for a reality show. And the lawyer that we had at the time was like, "Hey, you should go talk to, the guys in Live," because they had this. We had at the time, Chad and I were invested into a film company called Aurora, and they did mostly like kind of local commercial stuff. But one of the partners in that was working with Chad on a script that they had about a show based on like a doctor, which he was, and a rock star, like being friends, which is kind of an interesting story. I think it still can be made. But anyway, so we were making inroads in Hollywood, in LA, and the lawyer was like, "Oh, you should talk to these guys because they're already working on some other shows, and maybe they can help you with your reality show." And so we worked on it for a little while, but never went anywhere. And then we became business partners on like some real estate stuff, and ended up building the 210 York Street, where Think File Studios is, and then we got into this whole. We started building a fiber optic line from New York City from Virginia, and asked me how we got into that. It's pretty crazy, but
that's going to be in the book that's coming out here pretty soon in 2020.
Yeah, there'll be a book about it for sure. But yeah, So yeah, I've been in through thick and thin with Bill, and then he got on TikTok back in I think February.
Yeah,
and because one on TikTok, he's like, "I don't want to get on TikTok. It's like fucking kids jumping around dancing like that's exactly what I thought it was,
Yeah.
It's just completely different from your perception being an older person. So Bill gets on it. He starts, and when Bill gets into something, he gets into it. Like he learns every friggin' thing about it. And he starts that, and he's like, "Start an agency." I'm like, "What? All right, I'm down."
You're into that. We're doing it.
And all of a sudden, we're not only did we start an agency, we started an agency that does every aspect of TikTok. Like most agencies on TikTok will do like live creators, or
Right.
they'll do shop side, but we do live, shop, and now we're onboarding brands onto TikTok. So like it's wild.
You're the one and only that's like one stop shop for everything. So, but
Yeah,
hey,
I don't think there are very many that do all three. But anyway, go ahead.
Let me take a second here, and I want to introduce you to very good friends of mine, Karen and Lynn Toomer. They're super great friends of mine. They are actually one of my sponsors for the Battle Rhythm podcast. EGA Constructions out of DFW. They are listening to us right now, out of their home right now, because they're kind of like laying low right now. They have been on the campaign trail because Lynn was actually running for the VFW National Commander-in-Chief Junior Vice Commander for the National. So they've been on the road almost every weekend. They were on the road. There were 16 states in the Southern Conference, which is like all the way from Virginia all the way down to Florida, and then all the way up to like Oklahoma. So all that area. So they were all around. But they're listening to us right now. They're great friends of mine. So yes, they'll be they're like my number 1 and 2 supporters. I'm not saying who's number 1 there, Lynn. So don't you ever go with it.
Don't pick the number 1.
That's right. That's right. So, but yeah, they're listening. They're super great friends of mine. I told them that you were going to be on here, and they're like, "Oh my God, yes, I love them." So
cool.
yeah, I know. Well, yeah, thank you. See, this is what happens when a sponsor helps out.
There you go.
That's right. You're being branded by Chad Gracey here from the band Live. So there you go. There you go. So sorry, but yeah. Thanks for that, Chad. I appreciate you. I just wanted to let my audience know that my sponsors are super awesome, and look, they even said thank you. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Hello, Karen.
Yeah, and Lynn's right there too. He's like, "That's me,
Lynn.
damn it."
Karen and Lynn. Sorry. Hello.
Exactly.
Let's call number 1. They're both number 1. How about that?
That's right. Yeah. So that's Lynn right there. That's totally Lynn. He's like, hell yeah. That's Lynn. So that's his go-to phrase. So it's pretty funny. Nice. On the TikTok side, one of our good friends right now. She's sitting and talk for.
Mullins, I would be like
fan of other. You are not a. Which
I hung out with Dave Grohl in New Orleans back in 2017, and we were in a restaurant. Taylor Hawkins was eating across the way from us, and we saw him. So I think Chad tried to like buy his meal for him or whatever. He was there with a bunch of cousins. He walks over and says hello, and it's like I'd hang out, but like I got my cousins here. And we're like, no. So we go back to eating our dinner, and then all of a sudden somebody comes in and puts their hands on my shoulders from behind. I'm like, what? It's like, what's up, fucker? It's Dave Grohl. We're like, so he sits down. We end up having dessert and drinks with him. They closed the restaurant. They put us in the bar. And so we're now in the bar doing shots and shit. And Dave's like, looks at me and he goes, man, I learned every lick on throwing copper. And I'm just standing. I'm like, okay. Holy shit. Like, I didn't know what to fucking say.
That's a greatest compliment from another.
I've met Dave before. I've talked to him, but yeah, I was like, dude, are you serious right now? Are you telling me that?
You're like, wait, I'm an influencer now too.
Yeah, I was like, you learned all my shit on throw. I was like, probably really easy for you, but I'm glad. That's so cool.
That is so
Yeah.
awesome. That's so cool, dude. Like another, like, I mean, a well-respected drummer himself. Yes, of course, he was with the Foo Fighters, but you know, he to give a compliment like that, like, wow, that's. I mean, I can't even fathom the thought right now. I really can't.
It's pretty wild.
It is.
Wild. Like,
God, that's cool, man. That's awesome. That's super awesome.
Dave, I don't know what to say. I don't want to seem like a, you know, I want to still be like I'm cool, but I'm not. Like, I'm tripping out right now.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that's cool. That is probably one of the coolest stories I've ever heard. I'm gonna have to share that story. Chad told me one time when I interviewed him that his best. No, I'm just playing. That's cool.
My best and last Taylor Hawkins story was, I think it was that same year, maybe in 18. We were playing a festival in North Carolina, and we stayed in Nashville the day before. And our tour manager at the time was like, had the bright idea of doing a day drive so we could sleep that night in Nashville. So we did a day drive over the friggin' mountains from Nashville to Charlotte, right? Ended up in traffic jams. We're super fucking late. Like we're pulling, like we're so late. Like we didn't have enough time to play 3 songs on stage. And we pull our buses right up to the back of the stage. We have our shit on. We just run off the fucking bus right on the stage, play 3 songs. That's all. And they held the stage for us, thank God. And we played, I don't know, I Alone and something else and Lightning Crashes, whatever. Came off the stage, and Taylor and Dave were watching us, and Taylor's like, man, you only had to play 3 songs? You lucky fucker. I got to play 3 hours. I was like, sorry, dude. That's the last time I saw Taylor.
Oh man, that's hilarious. That's cool. I heard he was actually like also laid back and just like super cool.
Yeah, that's why Dave and Taylor got along so well. They're both kind of the same guy.
Yeah.
In that respect.
And after he passed away, I know that his son was actually playing with him for a couple times. I was like, dang, he sounds obviously he sounds just like him. I mean, looks just like him. And it kind of reminded me of like Sublime, you know, with his kid. Was now he's now the lead singer of Sublime. I'm like, wow, that's just, I mean, sounds almost identical to him. And I'm like, wow, to Bradley, that was his name. So yeah, he was just, man, that's just unbelievable.
Yeah, Shane Hawkins is an amazing drummer too.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you that, I mean, it runs in the family, because we were talking about John Bonham earlier, and his son Jason Bonham is also an incredible drummer himself. And obviously he learned pretty much everything from his dad, because he still plays just like his dad as well. So you know, is there any chance your son will actually do that?
My son was taking drum lessons for a little bit, but he's more into volleyball now. My son's 6'3", pushing 6'4", he's 15.
Jeez.
So he's a big boy, and he's playing volleyball. So kind of got out of the music thing. And the reason he was taking drum lessons is because he was intimidated to play in front of me, which I kind of understand, but I was also like, I can teach him the basics of drums. Like, take fucking lessons.
You shouldn't be intimidated. I mean, it should be
well, I mean, he's sat on the side of the stage many times and watched me play, so I guess different.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely, for sure. So, all right. Well, we've come to the part of the show when we're gonna play a game.
Oh, again, it's
a game. This is one of the games that is actually super fun. And actually, Lynn Toomer's and Karen's actually favorite game that we play. We'd like to call this game Rapid Fire Questions.
Rapid Fire Questions is brought to you by EGA Construction Services out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It is veteran-owned and operated with over 25 years of experience.
All right, welcome back to the Battle Rhythm Podcast here on Voice of the People Radio and Television Network, and Business Digital and Patriot Radio. And we would like to introduce to you this game called Rapid Fire Questions, which is brought to you by EGA Construction out of the DFW area. So we're going to go right ahead and actually just get to the damn questions.
Let's go.
So the way that this works, Chad, is that I'm going to ask you a question, and the first thing that comes up to your mind after I ask you the question is what we're going to go with. There's no
God.
take.
Okay.
There's no take backs. There's nothing. You're just gonna answer the way that it goes, right?
Oh boy. Okay.
All right. And I'm gonna give you an easy one. Okay, so like, and you've already answered this question, but I just kind of gives you a way of like actually getting warmed up. So that's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
All right. So favorite band.
U2.
There you go. See, this is exactly how it is. All right. Favorite song to play.
Quite discussion.
Favorite song to listen to. That's not yours.
That's not mine. One by U2.
Dude, that is the anthem of like the 1992. I love that song, dude. That's like my go-to karaoke song.
Yes, great.
Even though I don't sing it very often, but yeah, I would. Yeah, that's one of it. Actually, that album that they came out with, that one, what was it called? White Horses. Who's gonna ride your wild horses?
Yeah, that was on Acton Baby. Yeah,
Acton Baby. That's right. That's one. That's by far my favorite because that's when I actually started getting into U2. Even though everybody's like, oh no, it's Joshua Tree. I'm like, no, dude, Acton Baby is probably the best one. Because at that time, I remember what's his name, Garth actually played with U2 in 1992. They played on the MTV Video Music Awards, and he was actually playing.
Oh, Garth Brooks did?
No, Garth. Like from Wayne's World.
Oh yes, that Garth. Yes, okay. yes.
All right, here we go. Favorite movie.
Shawshank Redemption.
Good pull. Favorite book.
Ooh, The Hot Zone. Gives about the first Ebola breakout. I read it back in the early 90s.
If you had the chance to play with anybody in history from that you've listened to, who would it be? That's no longer with us.
It's no longer with us. I think it'd be cool to write songs with Kurt Cobain.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good pull, actually. I think it's just again, that's a generational thing, right? All right. If you had the chance to start a band with, who would be your three other guys that you'd start a band with?
I would say, I'll go with Kurt since I was on that. I think Stone Gossard would be the guitar player, and these are people that are not in the band not in live, correct?
Right.
So yeah, Stone Gossard, Kurt Cobain, and then bass player. I like them Crooked Vultures with John Paul Jones. So I'll go John Paul Jones.
John Paul Jones.
Yeah.
Boy, everybody doesn't know that John Paul Jones was actually one of the members of Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So there you go. That's good. All right. Aside from those that you've already listened to, what is that you're listed as far as you listening to? What other genres of music do you like to listen to?
Well, probably outside of what I normally listen to is probably classical genre. I like sometimes listening to classical. It's soothing.
I need to send you a picture. A dude that's on TikTok, El Stepario Severiano, which is a Spanish drummer, but he does these. Oh, you haven't seen it? Oh my!
It's insane.
He did this thing today with like a classical song, and he was just doing these. Yeah, I was like, what? And he had like he shows his phone, right? And he's taking the timer. He's like, the timer was like there, and I was like, okay, there's no speed up or anything like that. He's like, this guy's insane. He's like, I was like, and he was doing it with left hand, and he's like, puts it down and starts drinking his coffee, and then puts it down and starts doing a jazz groove, and then it puts back the drum set or the drumstick, picks it up, and then starts doing. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal. It's like a phenom. It's like weird what he can do with one hand.
And he was actually auditioning for the Foo Fighters drummer.
Foo Fighters, yeah.
I was like, I don't know. Well, I kind of have to say that they probably should have given it to Taylor's kid, but that's just
legacy. The guy they picked from Nine Inch Nails, I wasn't familiar with, but I guess I'll check him out.
I hate Nine Inch Nails, dude. I mean, I like them. I liked a couple of songs, but I was like, that was not my cup of tea. You know what I mean? That's kind of like like for me, like Marilyn Manson. Really, the only song that I really knew was the one that they covered for Eurythmics.
Right.
You
Oh,
know?
the beautiful people too.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's yeah, beautiful people. So it's beautiful. All right, Eric Shaver says Nick Fuentes' White Boy Winter playlist is on YouTube. Temple Boys Summer playlist is on YouTube too. Well, that's good to know.
All right. So
Yeah,
I don't. Okay.
I should have read it
People's
before.
playlists are on YouTube. Excellent.
Yeah. Next time I'll play it. All right, let's see. Kind of like see squirrels, man. I see squirrels all the time. All right, do you watch any sports?
I'm not a big sports watcher, no. So I mean, I'll watch Super Bowl or like NBA championship if I'm invited to a party or something. But I've never gotten into watching sports.
Have you been to a Super Bowl?
Been to a Super Bowl? No, I
Yeah.
wouldn't go to. I don't like crowds. I'm not going to the fucking Super Bowl. I don't care.
You don't
I have no desire.
you don't like
Zero desire
crowds.
to do that.
You don't like crowds, but yet I play for a crowd.
Well, and everyone always says that. It's like, well, I'm not in the crowd. I'm on the stage, and I can leave whenever I want, and I can go to piss in a friggin' private bathroom and not have to stand in line and shit. So yeah, I don't like crowds.
And 30,000 people be like, I want my money back because he left. Oh, that's funny. No, I totally understand it because, okay, that's what it is. I like Nine Inch Nails in the movie Light of Day. Okay, got it. Sorry, man. I was like, what? Like Nick Fuentes. I didn't know that was his name. I guess that's his name from Nine Inch Nails. So.
Oh, the drummer. Yes.
Yeah. So, which is cool. There's so many new drummers like out there that are just ridiculous, man. I'm like, how do you have that much stamina? Like I get so like I hurt from just sitting down for quite a while. I'm like, I don't know if my back.
Yeah, when I'm doing I have my YouTube channel and I'm making my drum videos. I'm basically trying to do every live song that we played. But so yeah, I'll go back and to York and I'll play those and I'll practice a little bit and play like 3 or 4 songs at a time. And yeah, I get sore. I get super sore.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing it as much.
So I challenged Chad that next time I go up to when I do go up to York, I'm gonna play his drum set and I'm gonna do the Step Brothers thing. He's like, did you touch my drum set? No, I didn't touch your drum set.
Yeah, it's fine.
I
Get
told,
on it.
I
Don't
told
put your
Bill
nuts on
that,
it. Well, you don't have to do the nuts. It's fine.
I told Bill that story, dude. He's like, do it. I was like, he was laughing so hard, dude, when that happened. I was like, nah, I wouldn't do that. I mean, first of all, I have to ask before I actually get. It's great because I mean, at DW, when I was growing up, I had a Pearl. It was two-tone. It was nice. It faded from black turquoise to back to black. It was perfect, and I lost that son of a bitch on freaking divorce. Anyway, that's another story. Yeah, dude, it was.
Yeah, I played Pearl my whole career until 18, and then I switched to DW because Pearl wouldn't give me any more love. It was weird.
Do you? I don't know. DW is actually the premier.
Oh my god! Well,
set, dude.
as soon as I talked to Garrison over there, he hooked me up, and I went on did the the factory tour up in Camarillo, California.
Yeah,
and that was amazing just to watch the drum shells be made there. That was so cool, and it's just it's a different company. It's like they pay way more attention to detail. There's 2 Johns. The one John is like the wood whisperer. He knows all about wood. He knows too much about fucking wood. You're just like, I watched a documentary on him talk about wood. You're just like, what the hell do you know this much about wood? Anyway, it's just amazing to see that, and then that all that care and all that attention goes into making drums. Like,
yeah, right.
Different wood layers. They'll take the grains and crisscross them, or they'll run them perpendicular to each other or parallel to each other, depending on what kind of sound you want. It's pretty wild. Anyway,
wow,
DW is definitely superior.
That's just awesome. And then do you play a double bass pedal, or just a single?
Just single. I've never tried double bass. I started to think about it, like if I was continuing to tour live, I might get one, because some of the stuff that I used to do with one foot is harder now.
Yeah. Again, it's it just comes with your body just beat up. You know what I mean? Didn't you tell me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Didn't you tell me that you actually like tore your muscle on your arm?
I tore my tricep tendon on my right arm, 90%.
Oh, dang. Which basically kind of impeded you from actually playing anymore, right? For a while.
Yeah, that's why the reason we had two drummers for a while, because I fell in my kitchen. One of my little girls took me out with macaroni and cheese, and like she hit this macaroni and cheese off the counter and went right in front of me. I stepped in it, and my legs just went whoop, and I put my arm back naturally to catch myself, and there she
Right.
popped the
Oh,
tricep tendon. And so yeah, that's the most traumatic thing I've ever had happen to me, and injury wise. And I've my whole career I avoided like mountain biking and doing all this crazy shit so I wouldn't break any skiing, snowboarding. I wouldn't do any of that stuff because
right.
I couldn't afford to like break or sprain any part of my body,
Uh-huh.
right? And so then I get taken out in my kitchen by my 4-year-old at the time. It's like, awesome, thank you.
I mean, God love them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I'm a huge believer that things happen for a reason, and
Oh,
that happened for a reason, and we don't know that reason, and probably won't know that reason until we
I
pass
guess
away and
not.
go
Yeah.
back. So, but it's cool. I mean, I'm glad you're doing better now. Obviously, this was a few years ago.
I was 18, or no, 17, and I healed it without surgery. So yeah, I didn't have surgery, which is amazing. I found a doctor here in Orange County, and I went to one doctor, and he's like, yeah, well, I did it on a Wednesday. That Saturday we were playing at Arroyo Seco Festival in Pasadena. So we had another drummer come in. I kind of played one armed, and the other drummer played the parts. And then the following Monday, I went to a doctor. Or no, the Friday before the Saturday before the festival, I went to a doctor and scheduled surgery for the following Wednesday. Like, I got to get this repaired, got to get this done as fast as possible so that I can, get back to the band playing full strength. And had a surgery scheduled for Wednesday of the next week. Monday, I went to see another doctor who was this longevity doctor who had been an orthopedic surgeon. And he was like, I don't think you need surgery. I'm just like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I think we can heal it with this method. And he was like, well, I'll give you testosterone injections and you'll do hyperbaric chamber.
Nice.
I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, I'll have you play in 6 weeks.
Oh wow.
And he did. In 6 weeks, I was playing again. 90% tear of my tricep tendon. I was playing in 6 weeks.
That's ridiculous.
Whereas surgery would have been 6 weeks, 6 weeks immobilized, which causes all kinds of scar tissue. The only reason they really immobilize you in surgeries is for pain. Right.
Yeah,
So, and then it fills up all the scar tissue and you have to do rehab for that. So that would have been 6 weeks of immobilization, 6 to 12 weeks of rehab, and then you could play.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank
that's
God.
unheard of. It's 6 weeks. It's unheard of. So
yeah, I was playing in 6 weeks, and about 8 to 9 weeks, I was full strength playing again.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. But I'm glad you're doing more better.
But as a man, testosterone injections, oh yeah, that's the shit. Yes. I'm gonna get more of that.
Oh, that's hilarious, bro. That's awesome. All right, let's get back to the questions. We can see squirrels, man. I'm telling you, squirrels just come all over the place, So
I thought the game was over.
Dude, we got about 15 more minutes,
Cool, let's go.
15 more minutes, quote unquote. I mean, I'm actually loving the interview. It's great. Like I said, when you go through the whole interview process and you're like, oh man, like I'm already through there. Like, geez, start playing all this stuff, and it's good. And when the guest is engaged, and it makes it so much easier for the host because it just comes naturally. You just start having a conversation, and people are like, oh, you ever prepare for these? I was like, no, I never really prepare. Like, I'll have 1 or 2 questions to start off, and then after that, it's just like it's free reign, because the conversation will lead you to certain things. And it's not scripted, you know what I mean? Because a lot of the times when you actually have a radio show, they're 5-minute interviews at the most, and a lot of times they have to have all this other stuff. And this is the beauty about podcasts, is the fact that you're really not scripted about anything. So
yeah, I got it.
That's why people don't understand, I guess. All
All right, give me some more questions.
right, let's go. Well, all right. So, if you could interview anybody on your show, who would it be?
It's probably Larry Mullen Jr. Yeah.
Well, we've established that.
Yes.
But as far okay, so let's take a step further. Professionally, like now that you're in the media now, who would you like to interview that has some type of I want to say influence on you, not only like musically, but also like on your thoughts and the way you are on your everyday type of life. Like, who would you like to interview?
Probably someone like Randall Carlson or Graham Hancock. They both are. Randall Carlson is more of a geologist, but he's more into kind of like ancient civilizations, and Graham Hancock is kind of the same thing. So I like kind of called alternative history, but it's like the thought that there are civilizations, advanced civilizations that preceded ours, advanced civilization. That
Yeah.
kind of there was an event in around 11,800 years ago called the Younger Dryas event, which basically wiped out all the large mega flora and fauna on the North American continent. So like the mammoths and the saber-toothed cats and all those big animals that lived here in North America were wiped out in an instant. But they're thinking that when you look at something like the Egyptian pyramids or like the ruins at Machu Picchu or the ruins in South America, like there's a large megalithic structures with these giant stones that they don't know how they fucking carved them. They don't know how they moved them.
Right.
And their thought is that there was some civilization that was advanced in ways that we don't understand that preceded us and made those places. Not the Egyptians didn't make the pyramids
Right.
4,000 years ago. Like maybe they did, but it's highly unlikely that they did with the amount of stone and work that went into those things. The Sphinx has erosion water erosion on the side enclosure and the body of the Sphinx that could only be possible when the Sahara was rainy, and that was like 14 to 15,000 years ago, right? So
Yeah.
I like that kind of stuff. So those two guys would be dream guests.
That's interesting you mentioned that. So let me ask you this. So you obviously you like history, you like that type of stuff that that do you see a link? And I don't know if you've actually seen some of the evidence that's been there, where there's the same type of hieroglyphs that are on the Egyptian pyramids and other places,
Yeah.
and that actually exist in Mexico and also like Central America and all this stuff, that they have the same type of hieroglyphs in some of their stuff. Do you think there's a huge connection in that?
But yeah, I think there is. I mean, even just the structures themselves, like there's pyramids all over the world, not just in Egypt. There's
Yeah.
pyramids in Mexico. There's pyramids in South America. There's pyramids in China, for God's sake.
There's people actually saying that there's pyramids in the Grand Canyon. They're
Yeah, there's a section of Grand Canyon you can't go in. Like you're not allowed to. You get stopped by like Black Hawk helicopters and shit if you try to enter this part of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Like what's going on with that?
Yeah, we gotta do a show about that.
And the guy, I forget the guy's name that found these entrances into these caverns there that had hieroglyphs in it.
Yeah.
Like Egyptian hieroglyphs in the Grand Canyon. What the fuck's going on with that?
Exactly.
So, and now you're not allowed to go in there. Like the government or somebody protects it. What's that?
Exactly. It's crazy. Which I don't understand, but it's to be seen, I guess. And I like kind of like I like that kind of stuff, because it's like I'm like, it makes you think. And again, people are like, people are so used to what the history book tells us, and a lot of times the history books are actually wrong because they really only tell one story, right? And then you hear the real stories, and they're like, where the hell? You start questioning everything, and this is just like it's fun. For me, it's fun.
It's
I don't know about you.
Oh, it's definitely it's fun because it's like you said, like how how did they build these giant megalithic structures with these giant stones? And like there's those the walls in Cusco, Peru, they look like the stone was melted together, and they have multi angles on all these stones.
Yeah.
There's a stone with like eight or nine different angles on it, and you're like, how could they have carved that? First of all, and there's no mortar. It's like you can barely put a piece of paper in between the joints of these stones. Like they're perfectly matched together.
Right.
How did they do that?
Or
They didn't do it with bronze tools. Okay.
No. Or well, because at that point, would it really be primitive tools, right?
Yeah.
And there's also what is it that limestone, big block of limestone in Egypt right now that is like laser cut, like perfectly cut down, in there.
Oh,
and
they have
left
drill
it there.
holes in them. They have they have core drills in these stones that like have what do they call it? Cut rates that are like beyond what we could have today with modern tools.
Yep.
Perfectly round holes that are drilled into these hard stones. It's like how does it? What's going on? Like so it just begs. The Earth is 4 billion years old.
Yeah.
You don't think that there was possibly another, at least one advanced civilization that rose up before us on this planet, and it would be completely gone by now. You wouldn't find anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. Have you been to the Grand Canyon?
I've been to the south rim of the Grand Canyon. Yeah.
Okay, so in the visitor center there, I don't know if you walked around. There's like a pathway or whatever, but before you actually get to the Grand Canyon and whatnot, but there is outside of the visitor center there is actually on the pathway, there is actually there's plaques that are set out in like, in distance, right? And it says like, the Big Bang started here, and everybody knows about it.
Right. Yeah.
And then, this is where man was finally like on Earth. This is the dinosaurs, and it kind of starts going out, and it just kind of gives you an idea of like you said, the 4.6 billion years that we've been, the Earth has been around, and it starts from there and how it started, but then it starts showing you just how minute the United States is. Is like, oh yeah, all this other shit happened over here, but yet the United States is like.
Oh, you mean the age of the country?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
And it's we're a dot or a speck in something that it's been 4.6 billion years, and here we are at 250 years. Right. That's nothing,
Yeah, like what is it on a 24-hour clock? We're like 0.2 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
And it was just a nice illustration of how it kind of went. I liked it. It was just I'm a nerd for stuff like that, and I'm like, and then you look over the edge, you're like, yeah, I don't want to go through a mule and go take a burrow down down there and come back up. Yep, nope, not doing it.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, it's like climbing Everest. I'm like, nope, I'll let the professionals do that.
Nah, I read that in '96 when that tragedy happened, all those people died. I read the book by what was his name? He was there. Great author. John Krakow. Yeah. I read his book all about that. I was like, Jesus, that's nuts. Why? I don't know. I have no idea why you would do that.
And like, you ever see like now, like I like watching like Discovery Channel, right? Because they got really good shows, and like I like the shows that they have, the Egypt shows, and the Egyptologists, and they're right now they're following this one archaeologist that's from I believe from Peru, I think. And she's an Egyptologist, and she feels like she found Cleopatra's tomb, because it was lost, and like nobody knew where it was, and so it's like really interesting to see. But then they also have these other shows where like for climbing Everest and all that stuff, and right now like so there's obviously they have seasons, right? And so you start seeing when the season is like ending, meaning they can't climb anymore because of the heat, right? Because during the summertime. They start seeing all these bodies that are actually, because there's over 200 bodies that are there.
Yep.
That they used as landmarks in order for them to actually get up there. So they know exactly where they're at, know how much longer they have, but then they're using these bodies as landmarks, and some people are actually starting to be well at this point really just it's a rescue mission for them to actually bring down the bodies, but.
They started to remove some of them. Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's obviously they're the path is pretty small now because there's so many bodies up there that they started changing them. But yeah, it's crazy, dude. But I love seeing that stuff, and I didn't. It makes me think. I'm like, man, we're so small compared to what happens. But yeah, people get that what do they call it, that fever, the mountain fever, or the peak fever, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And they start doing dumb shit, and there we go.
Oh, you mean conquer the peaks? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's then there's all these TikTok videos of like, oh, how much does it cost to like climb Everest? Like, dude, it's $120,000 or something. I'm like,
yeah, it's ridiculous. It used to be 90. It's probably 120 grand now.
Yeah.
Just to get the license. But that's the thing though. If you come up with 120 grand, you can go climb Everest. It's like, are you qualified in any other way other than you have 120 grand? Like it is not something to go fuck around with. It is
nope,
life or death.
Yeah.
And just because you have 120 grand doesn't mean you should go.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, I see your videos on that you post where you start hiking. I'm like, dude, I can barely hike that son of a bitch. Why am I gonna go to freaking Mount Everest?
Yeah, well, exactly. Yes. I like doing my hikes around here because I do some hills. It's my cardio now instead of running, but I have no desire to go hike a friggin' I don't even want to go hike a 14,000 foot mountain. I'm good. Just do my little hikes here. I'm good.
All right, dude. So I have another rapid fire question for you.
Yeah.
White Castle or In-N-Out?
In-N-Out.
Yeah.
I do like White Castle, but In-N-Out.
Yeah. Everybody knows White Castle because of freaking Kumar and Lamar. What was his name? Kumar and whatever. Oh, dude. That's funny. I had White Castle when I was back in the East Coast, and I said it's pretty good. I mean, it just is. So, thank you so much to her little one. She just sent me and made my goal. So thank you on the live on TikTok. Thank you, Heather, for that. Think Loud Studios. Let's talk about Think Loud Studios, man. So Think Loud is one of your endeavors that you're actually part of, right? And what is Think Loud Studios?
Well, originally it is an actual recording studio in York, and originally built. We bought a building in 2012, and this was, when I say we, this was myself, Chad Taylor, Patrick Dahlheimer, and Bill Hines, and we bought the building, and we had this whole vision to put a world-class studio on the 4th floor, which we eventually built. And it has 5 hotel rooms up there so people can stay. There's a lounge. We built it as like a great place for, hopefully that live would work in, but that's not happening anymore. So
we're not getting into that.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. But then there's 3 other floors. So on the 3rd floor, there's a bar and a gym, and there's 4 other hotel style suites on that floor, and there's an apartment where Bill stays. And then the 2nd floor was made for a company that we had, the fiber optic company called UFD, which, that's a whole nother story too. And then the 1st floor is kind of more offices, and that's where Bill's office is. But so when Bill visited TikTok back in March, I think it was March, and started telling our TikTok rep about the studio that we have, and he's like, oh man, you could have you can do creator parties there. You can have creators do lives from there. You can have you can have artists like singers come and sing and use the studio as an actual studio.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a world-class recording studio. It was on the cover of Mix Magazine, or was it Studio Magazine, or no, Mix Magazine in 2014. Awesome. The guy that designed the studios, his name is Horacio Maldacino, and he designed studios for Kanye West and U2 and Sting and all these giant artists all over the world. So we brought him in, and it's an amazing place.
All right, so we have a question from Rumble. Which one of you wrote the song "Shit Town" and what is it about?
Well, Ed wrote all the lyrics and melodies to all the live songs. So I always say that. And I don't know who brought the original idea, but it is about our little town that we were from, York, Pennsylvania. He actually wrote it while he wrote those lyrics while he was living in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So sometimes it was like, oh, it's about Lancaster, but it's actually about York. And it's just like everybody, I think a lot of people that grow up in the small town, identify with it. It's like, you live in that place, there's nothing to do, you're bored, you're just, so it was kind of reaction to us being bored kids in that little town.
So when you go back to York, dude, is it different? Like, does everybody know you, or does everybody like, oh my god, that's Chad from Live? Do you get that reaction?
I barely get. I mean, unless it's someone I knew in the past. No, I don't get recognized. I rarely, even in York, get recognized outside of any association with the band. It's happened, and it's fucking weird to me when people are like, "Hey," I'm just like, "Hey," like, "Oh, you're the drummer of Live." I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, that's right."
That's where I know you from.
Yeah. So yeah, but even in York, like, unless I went to high school with them, I don't. And I'm the kind of person, like, if I see someone that I went to high school with, I will walk the other way because I don't feel like doing the small talk thing and
Yeah.
like engaging.
Yeah.
I'm kind of an introvert that way, so I'm just like, okay, I'll just go over here.
Yeah. So Eric says, well, that's not what it means on my playlist. So
okay, that's fine.
So, hey man, it's cool. What does it mean on your playlist, Eric? Because I want now I'm interested. I want to know what it means on his playlist.
Right. Yeah. That's funny.
That's great, man. So dude, we're gonna see if he answers on this. If he doesn't, then it's fine. But dude, I've had so much fun with you tonight, and I know you're a busy dude, and I don't know if you have your girls with you tonight, or not.
No kids. I get them back on Friday. So.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. So we're gonna be here till 6 a.m. No, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna be here. No, it's all good, man. I really have so I'm a single dad this week. My wife had to fly back to California. She's back there right now.
Okay.
So she had to go take care of some stuff, and so she'll be back. Wait, is she gonna be back? Because I only bought her a one-way ticket.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, I should have probably asked that. Anyway, no, but she's back taking care of some family business, and so she should be back sometime this week, or early the weekend. But I'll have her come down to meet you, and she'd be like, "No, I'm not." Well, let's see. You'll have to check it out. Okay, my playlist is like, okay.
LLM for music. What's that mean?
I don't know. We'll just have to check it out. We'll have to Google it and go from there. So,
okay.
All right, cool. But yeah, so my wife's over. She's over there right now, and I'm kind of missing it. I'm kind of jealous of the fact that she's over there, and she's like she sends me pictures like, oh, like I'm having tacos right now. I was like, oh my god, I'd kill for a good taco.
Wow, they don't have good tacos in Dallas. Wow.
Okay, so
more Tex-Mex, right? It's not as.
It's very different cuisine. Like Tex-Mex, people are like, oh, it's Mexican. No, it's not.
It's not. Well, that's definitely not. But I thought you could get good tacos in.
There's some places, but like in Dallas, but I don't live in Dallas. I live just north of Dallas, DFW area, so I live closer to Oklahoma than I do to Dallas.
Got it.
I'm like literally 15 minutes from the Oklahoma border.
Okay.
And the biggest like stage here is it's called Choctaw Casino. So.
Oh yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we played there one time. It sounds familiar.
Well, it's in Durant, and I've been corrected when I say that. It's Durant, Oklahoma, because I was like, it's Durant, Durant. Durant. No, it's Durant.
I think we did play that. That sounds familiar. Durant. Durant. Like, what?
Yeah. So Stained is actually going to be here in September. So I might actually, so I might actually go catch that because I like Stained.
Very cool.
So that'd be cool. But all right. He says it's a large language model.
Oh, okay. Got it. I knew I'd recognize it. It's AI stuff.
Yeah, it is. Are you a big AI guy?
I'm a big I think we're heading headlong into Terminator guy. Yeah.
Dude, I sometimes feel like we're living in that movie, Idiocracy.
I think we're walking right into Terminator. So
well, I think right now we're in Idiocracy.
Well, yeah, in a lot of ways for sure. I love that fucking movie. But yes. But yeah, I literally think we're walking into Terminator. Like they're pursuing AI without abandon. It's just like whatever, we got to get it. and now they're making, Elon's making fucking robots, and we're just like, okay, just put them together, and they become sentient, and then they're like, we're getting rid of humans. It's coming.
And then soon enough, like, we're gonna be out of work and we're not gonna have anything, and it's just like, oh great, here we go. So I don't know. All right, we talked about the music. So what's next for Chad?
Well, I just concentrated on Think Loud Studios at the agency on TikTok at this point. This is what we're kind of focusing on. So that's what I'm working on with
Any
Bill.
new endeavors in music right now?
Sort of talking to Chad Taylor about working on some stuff together, but nothing other than my YouTube channel, which is Chad Gracey Live on YouTube. If you want to check out those videos, that's fine. But yeah, that's what I've been doing for music, is playing the live songs on YouTube. And I kind of do that for drummers that want to see drummers and whoever wants to watch it, but just mainly drummers that want to see how I play the songs. They get a visually and audibly see and hear how I played the songs.
Would you ever consider going to Drumeo to do those blind reactions?
I don't know. I don't work well like that.
Have you seen some of those videos?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
One of my
Chad
favorites
Smith is one of the famous ones. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chad Smith is one of my favorite ones because he's just like, oh yeah, hold on a minute, and he just starts playing. He's like, like nothing else. I was like, and the guys are like looking at each other like, what the hell? This is like literally he nailed it. Yeah. I was like, wow. No, Chad's one of my favorites. He looks just like Will Smith or Will Ferrell. Sorry.
Yes, absolutely. That's so funny that they played on that. But yeah, I watched Stuart Copeland on there. He was playing to some emo like hard rock song that and it was pretty popular. God, I wish I could remember what it was, but I was like, when they played it, I'm like, he doesn't know this song. He's never heard this. Like, how's that possible? But he did some fucked up shit to me. He was just like, whoa, that's crazy.
I'm just amazed at the fact I still can't believe that you told me that Sting he's suing Sting with his other bandmate. I'm like, what?
Yeah, Andy Summers and Stewart are both suing Sting for $400 million.
I mean, yeah, I don't know who was the catalog for their stuff, but
well, apparently Sting took all their songs and basically somehow re-registered them under only his name.
Oh,
and he did that like 20 years ago. So there's millions of dollars of friggin' royalties that those guys haven't gotten because Sting did supposedly, allegedly, did this underhanded thing. So we'll see what happens in the lawsuit.
That I would like to see what happens with that. So hopefully we'll have to cover it in one of the other shows at some point because that's going to be interesting, man. I mean, we'll bring the TMZ guys in here and be like, let's talk about that because those guys, entertainment lawyers. Now let us know what's going on.
Yeah.
So, all right, Chad. Well, thank you so much for being a part of our show tonight. I don't want to take any more of your time. I know you're a busy guy, and you're getting older, just as I am. So I'm sure that best
go to bed soon.
Oh man, like I said, I've been a single dad for this week, and I have to say that, and I'm gonna say this publicly, that I appreciate my wife so much for taking care of my daughter when I go to work. I guess I didn't realize how much work I would 4 or 5 in the morning, and then she go, I'm done. Like, oh, dude, I gotta go to her. I was like, oh my god, I don't understand this. Like, and then get her to do the stuff. And my daughter, she's very I don't want to say like lackadaisical, but it's just like you have to kind of like push her to like come on, let's do this. Like, and I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it just takes a little bit longer for her to to get going. I'm like, do you want some coffee? Maybe I can help and speed up the process here. But and then she has long hair, so I have to comb that hair, and I have to put like product in order for me to bring it. I was like, oh my god. So yes, I appreciate you. Thank you, honey. I'm so sorry that I doubted you in the time that it takes that. So I appreciate everything you do while I'm gone, because I don't honestly, I don't pay attention into those things, and so that's
To me, one of the positive byproducts of my divorce was that 50-50 custody. At first, I thought it was going to be bad, but like 50, I actually enjoy 50-50 custody because I get to be super dad for a week. I have to do everything. I take them to school, take them all their activities, and then for a week I get off and just hang out and
do you.
do me. Yeah, so I do appreciate that. I miss my kids, but I also appreciate having me time. And my ex gets the same thing, so it works out.
Yeah, that's which is good. But I again, I appreciate you taking the time to being here with us tonight. And
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
I this is not the first or the last time that you'll see Chad on the Battle Rhythm podcast. We had a lot of fun with it, and hopefully you guys will be able to catch the Gracious 2 here starting in September on Voice of the People Radio Television Network. Also, exactly. So we're also going to be expanding onto other venues as well. So don't frown on, or don't fret on that, because it's going to be big. So for sure. But Chad, again, you're a friend of the shows. Anytime you want to come back, please do so. And thank you so much for being such a caring person, and just being it makes it super easy for a host to actually just ask questions, because you're so down to earth and stuff like that. It just makes me appreciate you a lot more than anything. So thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thanks.
All right. So we will be back next week with another episode of the Battle Rhythm podcast here on Voice of the People Radio and Television Network, BC Digital, and also on Patriot Radio. So thank you guys so much for being here with us. And with that, Chad, is there any closing remarks that you would like to put out there today?
Just if you're looking for an agency on TikTok, check out Think Loud Studios.
That's right. They've also expanded to Think Loud Latin America. So
yes, that's right. We are looking for creators in Latin America. We're looking for creators in Australia, and we're looking for creators in UK as well. Yes,
that's right.
And we're looking for recruiters in those places too.
See what he said.
Yes.
For recruiters. So yes, so Think Loud Studios. So thank you again for plugging them in. They're a great part of your journey, because obviously you've been with them for quite a while. Not only on the business side of it, but also on the recording side of it, because you guys were doing some of your recordings there. So thank you for that. So all right. Well, next time when we talk to you, we're going to be talking maybe some crazy conspiracy theories. I don't know.
Cool.
We talked about so many other stuff. Exactly. So we'll bring on some crazy people into this into these what do you call it? These talks. I don't want to say they're tech talks, but they're tech talks. We're going to call in some podcasts, so it'd be good. All right. Well, with that, sir, again, thank you. We will see you very soon, and if you'll stick around for a few minutes right when I end the show, I'd like to discuss something offline for you, and we'll be back next week. Again, you'll see who the guest is next week. So thanks again, and remember, if you want to get involved, don't just be talking shit. Get involved and do something about it, because nobody's going to change it for you. All right. All right. See you guys later. Thanks so much.
See ya.
Thank you for watching. As we wrap up today's show, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in. Your support and engagement means the world to us, and we hope you found today's content insightful and entertaining. This episode, along with all previous shows, is available on all major media platforms. Whether you prefer to listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or watch YouTube, we got you covered. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review to help us reach more listeners just like you. We'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Connect with us on social media, where you can join us in our conversation and stay updated on the latest news and episodes. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you once again for being part of the Voice of the People, U.S.A. Radio, and TV network. We look forward to bringing you more exciting content in our upcoming episodes. Until next time, take care.